Hey y'all, it's Sarah with Wildly Artistic Living, and today we are going to make a crochet pint-sized ice cream holder. So let's get started. Alright, here we are. We are going to make this right here. It is a pint-size ice cream cover, so you can keep your hands warm while you have your ice cream. Now this one has a little ruffle on it, and you don't have to do that, but it is convenient to have there to kind of hold your hand. I've just got two random empty pints here, and so this is what we're going to work with today. All it is a cup basically, and it fits your pint jar just right. So I'm going to be using my yarn projects book. This is on Amazon, and I'll link it in the description. I made it myself because I didn't have anything to put my projects in. So this is what we're doing. You need a 3.5 millimeter needle hook. You're going to need your scissors and your needle at the very end. And basically you are going to make this a very tight single crochet. Okay? Actually, we're doing a magic circle. Now the easiest, let me get some of this stuff out of the way. The easiest magic circle, I've thought it was hard for so many years, but it is not. You do your slip knot, and you don't tighten it. There's your magic circle. So you do chain one, and you're going to do 6 singles in your magic circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whoops, 6, and this is the magic part. You pull it tight. And your little tiny hole will disappear completely. You slip this together. Once you pull it even tighter, there's no hole there. That's the magic part. That's what they call the magic circle. Now we are going to, you're going to need a stitch marker as well. Now if you don't have a stitch marker, you can use a piece of yarn that is a contrasting color. But I do have a stitch marker, so we're going to use this one right here. Because you're working in the rounds, it makes it just a little bit nicer to do. Now the way you use your stitch marker, whether it's a piece of thread or a store-bought one, you can stick it right in here. Now I do not have this size hook on my soft covers, so it's going to be a little inconvenient. I need to get another set of these, because it really makes a difference when you're crocheting a lot. Okay, you're going to work in continuous. You're going to do 2 singles in each for 12 stitches. So you're going to go right in here, and you're going to do 2 single crochets until you get back to your stitch marker. That is the convenience of the stitch marker. You do not have to count the whole time. So you just count your 2, and you're good to go. I hope this is getting it close enough. There, let's just go right down here. That'll be a little bit easier. Hope it doesn't wobble too long. Move my book over. I haven't done a video in about a month, and so I have had a lot going on in life. And I know I posted about some dental work. I did do that. So I did not want to be talking on a video when I had had any dental work done. Not that day. Not that week. But we are back to doing videos again. Thank y'all for standing by and sticking around. We are going to take this out. So these are much easier than yarn, although I used yarn for many years. So don't feel bad if you can't get these yet. because they're very nice to have, but you don't need them. You can use yarn. Okay, so we came back to the stitch marker. Now we're going to do 2 in each. Let me just check what I'm doing. Slip together. So I did not slip together. We're going to go ahead and slip it together. I'm going to go ahead and move this just so I have it just right, because I wrote all this down when I did it. I did not use a pattern from someone else, so technically I guess I made this pattern, but I don't think it's anything seriously special. Okay, so we did 2 and 1, we slipped together. We're going to do 1, 2 on the next one. So you're going to do 1, and then you're going to do 2. So that's all you have to count on this round. So you're going to do 1, and then you're going to do 2, because you're increasing. So 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Now this is also another Christmas present. I had these planned for several months now. Now we're back around, so we're going to slip into where the stitch marker is, okay? Slip it right into where the stitch marker is, and then move your stitch marker. I've had these planned for several months throughout the summer. It is now November. I'm just now getting to them. Whoops, I didn't close it. There. Nope. There. Now, I've tried several kinds of stitch markers as well, and these are my favorites so far. Okay, so if you're looking at the kind that swirl around, in my experience so far, no one at the crochet group liked those. They kept slipping out. So this kind seems to be the best. Okay, now we did 1, 1, 2. We're going to do 1, 1, 1, 2. So you're going to do 1. You do have to count a little bit. 1, 1. So you do 3 ones, and then 2 singles in the next stitch. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So you're still increasing, but slowly. 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2. 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2. Now I know this is not a live video, but I would love to hear what's going on with y'all lately. I may have to do another live soon, because that was kind of fun. Get to hear what y'all are working on and the things that you like. Now we've got 1 extra stitch here. I'm going to go ahead and just do that extra stitch and slip it into where the stitch marker is. If it's kind of awkward to work around the stitch marker, just go for it. Just try it, because the thing is, you can crochet around it and your yarn will just slip right around where it needs to be. So there's that. Now we're going to do 4 and then 2. So you're just going to keep going. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2. So this is November, and it is almost Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is one of my most favorite holidays, and we are having several celebrations. I'm very excited about it. I know I'm talking very quietly right now, but I'm very excited about Thanksgiving coming up. I'm thankful for so many things in my life. And it's just a really great time of year. And I know some people have loss, and that makes it a hard time of year. But we always have to remember what we are thankful for. during that time, even though it's difficult sometimes. Because the loss just doesn't go away. It just kind of eases a little bit, but never completely goes away. You just keep going. But Thanksgiving is a great time to remember what we do have and what we are thankful for, even though life is hard sometimes. 3, 4. See, you can talk and still count your 4 and 2. Now this one, you don't want to go through the stitch marker. There's your 2, and there's one extra stitch there at the end. Now, your stitch marker's up here. I'm going to go right into this one and slip it through. And then we move our stitch marker, and we're going to do it again. There's one tricky row around on this thing, and it is not yet. Now we're going to do 5. Okay, it's only a little tricky, and if you know single crochet, you can totally do this. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then do 2 more. 2 in the same stitch, because you're still increasing just a little. Then you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2. We're almost to the easy part though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2. And here on this last one, we have 2 extra stitches there. And then we're going to slip it together right where that thing is. See how your yarn goes around it? You just go ahead with your stitch just the way you need to. And, well, usually it slips right around it. We're just going to slip it through there. Now we can take this off and move it one more time. See, this is curling up just a little bit, but you'll see what happens here in just a second. Now, we're going to put our stitch marker in for one more row. Okay? I hope this is light enough. It's a little bit of a cloudy day, so I don't have as good of a light today, but seems like it's okay. I've got all the lights on. Anyway, now we're going to do the back loop only. So what you're going to do is, here's your stitch. You've got 2 stitches, 2 pieces of thread in each stitch. So you're going to go in this back loop only, and you're going to do a single crochet. Okay, and you've got 2 stitches here. You're going to go in the back loop only and do a single. And you need your stitch marker in there, or your thread, so you know where to stop. But you're kind of making a little ridge right here as you go around, because that front loop is going to make the ridge, like where this turns over, you're going to have a front loop. This is the ridge, and it's going to go all the way around, and it's going to help this hold its form. So that's what this is for. So we're going to go in the back loop only, and you're not increasing anymore, so you're just doing single crochet all the way around in the back loop only. And see, you're creating that turn. It naturally makes a turn when you do that. So we're just going to keep going around. And it's gonna shape itself out as it goes. I'm not having any worries about it right now. Got a little bit of a bump there, but it's gonna work its way out. It always does. And the thing about this is if it has a little bit of a bulge, kind of twisty thing in the bottom, like if you don't get the stitches perfect, guess what? It's still gonna work. And once you start going up the side, it'll still be pretty. We're going to keep going around here. Go all the way back to your stitch marker. We are almost there. And it's kind of like you have a little coaster. Because it is, see, there's your ridge all the way around, and then it kind of twists right here where it meets. So what you do is you just go in this last one. Looks like there's one more. And then we're going to slip into where the stitch marker is, and then you can take it out. Okay? Oh, that was a slip stitch. That's supposed to be a slip stitch, not a stitch. Now, you have a little coaster that sits here with the ridge. Okay, now that we've got the bottom part of this completely done, and here's our little ridge all the way around to help it keep its shape. We are just going to literally do single crochets all the way around and make sure you keep them tight. Okay? You want to go all the way around, tight singles, and you're just going to continue going until it's about 3 to 3.5 inches tall. And you want to pull it tight down as you go. Just make sure it stays really tight. Now, if you're getting too tight and it's bunching up, you can just not do the tightening pull, and it should be okay. And if it's really tight, you could move your hook up to a larger size, like a 4.25 instead of a 3.5. If your stitches are too tight, you would use a larger hook, and if they're too small, if they're too big, you would just want a smaller hook. But right now, you just keep them really tight with a 3.5, and this should be fine. And you just keep going all the way around. And you will have an ice cream container holder, a pint ice cream holder that keeps your hands from freezing. So if you want ice cream on a cold winter day in front of the fire or whatever, you can have your ice cream and your hands won't freeze. There we go. We've made one round already, and we're just going to continue going because we're not going to slip it together this time. You don't need the stitch marker the rest of the way. You're just going to keep going and make sure it's tight as you go. So there we go. There's that. And it's just going to build its side up. And I know the other pints, different brands or different sizes, they're just a smidgen off. They're not that much of a difference. So you can make one and it be universal for a pint jar or a pint ice cream. So even if you make your homemade ice cream and you put it in a pint jar, you can still use this. Oops. Just gotta make the stitches. Just little single crochets all the way around. There we go. This is turning out so pretty. And by the way, this is Dollar Tree yarn. Plus, I did another project with it before I started this. And there should be some left when I'm done, because that's how the yarn works. You can get quite a few projects done with one skein if it's small projects. Okay, well, I'm going to shut this off where you can pause this video and make yours to be about 3 inches tall. And I'll come back when this is all done to the top and I'll show you how to close it off. Alright, well here we are with the height that we need. You could make it a little bit higher if you wanted to, but this is just about right. It's the same height as the other one. This one did end up being a little bit tighter, so my yarn was probably a little thinner than this the 4-ply from Red Heart. But it still works. If this was full, it would be fairly easy to get on. Now what I was showing you about the bottom is it doesn't matter if there's a little bit of bulge here because it kind of goes in. So when you set it down, it still sets flat. So there's that. And you could make it a little taller if you wanted, but that's unnecessary. And if you wanted to put the ruffle on it, all you do is you make 2 double crochets per stitch. So it has a little bit of a, flair to it. So it would be a ruffly one. Now we're not going to do that on this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this off and get rid of this yarn here. And you're going to pull this right through. Actually, I was supposed to slip stitch it down so you don't have this ridge here, but I'll show you how to get rid of that without taking that out. Now you see the ridge here all the way around. It kind of gives the shape to it, and so it sits up on its own. And so what we're going to do is we are going to sew this down and get rid of that little difference in level there, because I just did this straight around, so there's not a seam anywhere around it. There's no front or back with the seam. And I've already tied in the string from the center. I like to do that at the very beginning actually, and I did that right after I cut the video off earlier. So now we want to aim this down in the first stitch, because there, that's all it takes, is just going down into that first stitch. And then we're going to go over into this next stitch here. We're going to go right in here under these stitches and through. We're just going to pull that through. See, that basically made that completely disappear. Now usually I slip stitch it down into the next stitch, but that completely got rid of that level difference there. And I'm just going to stitch this around, right around. Now you can go in a different layer, like you could go down a stitch if you wanted to. You can go anywhere. Sew around anywhere that you would like. And then just, you don't have to even do it this much. I kind of do it a lot more than I need to. That's just so your tail won't ever come out. So there you go. Now you have a perfect little ice cream cover. If this was full, it would go on a little easier. It's hard to do it on an empty one. But there you go. You've got your handle so you can hold your ice cream and not get your hands cold. So there we go. We're all done with that one. Y'all, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a really great day.